Hello, friends of Old Lifty. I assume if you're here watching this video, you just got done watching my 7 days photographing the lift bridge video. If you somehow got here before that, you can hit the link up here and watch that, or not. I don't think it matters that much. You know, it's not like a spoiler to a major TV series or anything, but this is the promised video where I look at the pictures, talk about them more closely, and just kind of ramble about other things related to that video that I didn't want to put into that video to make it a half an hour, 45 minutes long, you know? So, first order of business, in that video I said this idea came to me in a dream, and I know I occasionally joke in my videos, but in this case, that was actually the truth. I had a dream and I saw like the thumbnail and the title to make this video, but also like I don't think dreams are like divined by some holy spirit or like your dead ancestors are giving you ideas. I think it's just knowledge you've collected in your head over the years, just kind of rattling around there in the background while you sleep, and then it just kind of every now and then cranks out some weird idea from all of your past experiences. And there are definitely past experiences in this topic to have jumbled up all the stuff like some AI generator and spitting out that particular video idea. See, remember way back in like the mid 2000s when a lot of people were finally getting their hands on like the top tier good quality digital cameras, and people were like, I don't have to pay for film, and they would just go and be like, that means we gotta shoot a picture every day of the year for 365 days and call it a photography 365. And that was the big thing. Everyone's just trying their hardest to shoot a picture a day for a year because they could and it was free, right? Well, so back in that period of the 365 era, my friend Nate, who was also a photographer at the time, kind of made a joke of, I'm gonna shoot a lift bridge 365 because it was funny, because like shooting the lift bridge was like a very cliche thing that just, oh, every newbie goes and shoots it. It was boring. It wasn't taken seriously. So the idea of shooting it every day for a year was off the walls bonkers. I think he attempted it and made it like 5 days or so. I'm sure if he watches this, he'll chime in and say in the comments. But since then, every year on New Year's Eve, someone would make the post like, get ready to do your lift bridge 365. And no one would. Until 2015, when a whole bunch of us just started to do it on a goof, and none of us actually finished it, best of my knowledge, but I personally got to the middle of August when I just up and forgot one day, and I was like, oh, that's right, that thing I was doing for the last 8 months. Totally just, whew, gone. But after that experience, I kind of had the idea in my head, like, what if I did this, not quite in a 365, but just a whole bunch, but with a large format camera, really high quality compared to what this dirty digital camera can do, and never really did that. So I think the dream was just those ideas kicking around, and they got jumbled up in my head, and that particular night my brain was like, hey, remember those ideas? Let's look at this again. So that's how I ended up in this position right now. So this leads me into the point where we're going to look at the pictures, and I'm going to just talk about them briefly. Starting with Sunday's photo. I'm just going to up and say this was the worst photo in the group. Not, bleh, ugh. It's not even like totally in focus, and like I just couldn't even make the color look like anything but just bleh. So it's my least favorite. I've mentioned this a few times in the past in some of my previous walk around and take photo videos, where if you're like watching these kind of videos from myself or anyone just expecting like the best photos from every shot, just don't do that. These are sketchbook ideas, rough drafts, you know, like there's gonna be shit in it that's just bleh. If you just want to see like the good best of the best photos, like go to these photographers' exhibitions, buy their books, because that's the culmination of this kind of stuff, where all this work is condensed down into something just nice and concise and edited. But these kind of videos, like I said, they're just fun journaling in my opinion. So you get to see the meat getting thrown into the hopper, you know, the ground stuff comes out, and before it gets cooked up and looks pleasant in a hot dog bun. Well, maybe not a hot dog, but a brat, you know, the adult version of a hot dog. But yeah, day one, Sunday, right out of the gate, worst photo. I hope a lot of people didn't go, ugh, and just stop watching right there. And here we have the day 2 Monday photo. Pretty decent. I don't really have any faults with it. It's exactly what I set out to shoot, I guess. And like in my brain though, I was kind of imagining more like a bright and sunny day with nice bright white clouds in the background, but kind of got this overcast stuff with just enough light peering through that it looks fine to me. In the video, there's a quick moment where I said, like, I'm gonna move the tripod over 2 feet, and that was because in the initial composition, the old Lady Liberty was kind of hugging up against one of those 2 trees in the background, and I decided, no, I want her right in the middle, so boop, move the tripod over. Problem solved. We'll give this one 4 stars. Oh, there. Lifty Tuesday, the tired one where I woke up at like 6 in the morning to go shoot the lift bridge, only to discover that the idea I had spitballed in my mind wasn't possible, or would have been possible, but it probably would look like trash because of the shadows across the mural. So the resulting compromised image is this one, of course, and it's all right. I think maybe looking at it now, I probably would have been better off if I had just maybe centered the bridge a little bit more to get more balance between the building and the blue stuff, so there's more building and less blue sky, but whatever. It's what you get shooting large format, is no immediate feedback, and you don't just shoot a whole bunch of shots at once unless you got a lot of money and time for patience for scanning stuff, which I don't. So I'll give this one about a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. Not my best work, but it is what it is. Oh, Wednesday, Lifty Wednesday, the portrait. I mean, I don't have too much to say about this. I mean, it's a portrait, which is kind of this weird balance between like the subject and the photographer. Like, it's my job to make them comfortable, to make the photo good, and I kind of, being a kind of uncomfortable person myself, I feel like when I do portraits, I kind of leave people looking a little like uncomfortable, like I feel while I'm shooting them. So I think that's represented well enough here, and well enough composition. I will say 3.5 stars out of 5 on the old rate-ometer. And maybe someday I'll do this with an actual stranger I find down there, but talking to strangers is such a hard task for introverts like myself, right? Do you agree? I have certain photography friends, like my buddy Nick Nurbin, who is like really good with like the gab and can just strike up a conversation with anyone and take a really good portrait of him on the spot. And like, that's the kind of thing I envy in like him. Like, oh, I wish I could do that, but whatever. That's how your style is, you know? It's comes a lot from your inner person, reflects a lot into your work, and sometimes the work you want to do isn't what your inner person can do without a lot of just soul searching and experience to correct these things that you think you need to do better for the better picture. But whatever. Let's move on. I don't want this to be another 45-minute video. Thursday, the one where the deer got away. I was so excited for there to be a deer in the photo, but it's just not gonna happen. I'm never gonna photograph a damn deer. Like, seriously, little interjection for a while. I took a film camera on a hike a couple weeks ago, and I actually ran into a deer just casually sitting there in the woods, like. So I started taking pictures of this deer, creeping around through the brambles, and the deer's just looking at me, and I took all these really cool film panoramic portraits of this deer, and I was like, oh yeah, finally got a photo of a deer on film. And then like right then, boop, the back just popped open. The universe does not want me to photograph a damn deer, is what I'm thinking. So someday it might happen, but I mean, it did happen in that one video at the point and shoot, but you know, someday it might happen on a real big camera. Otherwise, I'm totally okay with the composition of this photo. I wish the light was a little less boring, but it's cool. I like it. I'll give it 4 stars. Okay, what are we on? Thursday? That's 2 more. Okay, Friday. What did I shoot on Friday? During editing the main video, I forgot what Friday was every time I looked it up, and then, oh yeah, the I-35 photo. Yeah, it's inspired by one of the photos I took during the 365, but I realized in hindsight I did not take it from the exact precise same angle. As you can see, this one you can see the road, and in that one you cannot see the road, and also in that one it was night. Ooh. It's kind of one of the things about this like large format is I didn't get real adventurous trying to hope for like a good sunset or shoot at night where I wasn't as confident on making the exposure, so everything's just kind of plain and in the day. But yeah, this one totally fine. Lift bridge off in a distance composition showing some traffic. 3 out of 5. Yeah. All right, so we're already at the end here. Saturday. Did you notice in Saturday the sound got kind of really terrible? Because that was the one day I forgot to turn on my secondary mic, and for some reason, like all the previous days, the little on-camera mic on the GoPro just sounded like trash. It was like, but you know, old Lifty Miracle, it sounded perfectly okay on this Saturday. So excited. Didn't ruin the video or make me do some weird voiceover where it's like Mel Gibson in Mad Max where he dubbed Australian English with American English, so it's like kind of there but just a little off. I should have just done that anyways for effect. But anyway, I think the Saturday photo is my favorite of the bunch. It's just a very nice, well-composed cityscape with that perfect angle where the lift bridge just peeks through that gap. This is the other one that was directly influenced by one of the 365 photos I took, which I'll show here, where same thing, a bit wider, and I was up behind the wall that you see in the back of the footage while I was shooting this, which I don't think I could have gotten the same shot on large format because there was a big fence there. I think originally I might have had to have like reached up and over, but this time of day there's no one in the parking lot, so I could just easily scooch in down there and do it from the lower angle. Yeah, number 5. No. 7! Oh my god, I don't even know numbers anymore. 7th and best. Let's give it a strong 4.5 out of 5 for the best. Couldn't achieve perfect 5.0, but I don't know what a 5.0 lift bridge photo looks like, but when I do see it, I want to know that I didn't waste it. I didn't want to waste that rating on some lesser photo, okay? You got that? So the last thing I want to talk about and kind of get a little deep into is the joke at the beginning of the video where I was like, it didn't count, it was on digital. I hope people didn't take that serious, and even though it said this is a joke, I've come to understand that some people just don't understand humor even when it's right spelled out in their face that it's a joke. So I'll probably get some hate comments on that, about that one, but whatever. It's engagement and helps the video. No problems there. But now that I've done this same project on like the two ends of the gear spectrum, the easy, quick, technologically advanced digital spectrum and the slow, lumbering, large format film perspective, I think that, honestly, it was a much better experience closer to the digital side. For a few reasons, and probably the biggest one just having to be about the, like, portability of shooting on large format. Like, more or less the tripod is required, unless you're, like, shooting a speed graphic handheld, and that's got its own limitations, but when you're trying to do this series of finding this one object off in a distance and placing it in just the right spot, it's kind of cumbersome to have to like set up the tripod, put it in there, you know, and go, oh yeah, it needs to be over 1 more inch. Blech. Or like during the 365, there's plenty of pictures where it was like, to get the best angle, I gotta be out where traffic is, so stand there and wait until traffic is gone and no traffic is coming, then run out and boop, pop it real quick and head back. A little tougher to do with the large format camera. So while I absolutely love the final output and look and just the big prints you can make on large format, in this situation, the spontaneity and just ease of getting into squirrely places with the digital was just, I think, a far more valuable thing in this series. And back when I did the 365, that was in 2015. All I had then was a Fuji Xe2 and 2 prime lens. None of it had image stabilization yet, so like, even since then, doing it with the digital is probably even better now because, like I said, like image stabilization, squirrely compositions. While traffic's coming, it'll probably end up being a little sharper. Worth it to trade off versus the big film image, right? So if I were to do this again in the future, and if that did happen, it would probably be in like the fall or winter because then all the leaves are gone and like 1,000 more sightlines appear. It gets way more exciting. I probably wouldn't do it on a large format camera anymore. That was a little too cumbersome. But I do like big negatives, and I cannot lie. So what could I use to, bridge the gap between all the conveniences of digital and the resolution of large format? I got a few options in my current gear loadout collection, if you want to call it. One being the old Century graphic here. The 6x9 centimeter negative is a little bit of a step down from the 4x5, but not too terrible. The drawback of this system is that to cover the ranges that I used in the 365, I'd have to buy like all new lenses, and having to change lenses, like it would open up more handheld opportunities while maintaining like the control on a tripod to really get in there. But I think overall it would probably still be kind of annoying because the rangefinder is only calibrated for one lens. So if I wanted to, always have two calibrated quick, focus and shoots, I'd have to use my second body and put one on there and carry two cameras around with me at all times, and then a third longer lens or shorter lens in the bag, depending on how I calibrate. So it would get futzy, and I'd probably get annoyed with that, and nothing would happen because I'd be annoyed. I already said that, but I'm saying it again because I'd be annoyed. But I think a better compromise would be to take that 6x9 centimeter negative and go with a little bit shorter 6x6 square negative and bust out the old Mamiya 6. See, when I was shooting this originally with the digital, I had three lenses, the 18, 35, and occasionally I'd mount some old 1970s Russian 50mm lens on it for that big reach. The cool thing about this kit is that the three lenses I have for it are essentially the same three focal lengths as those, give or take a few. So I know that those three focal lengths work for such a series, and so this camera is so much more portable for those run and gun, sneaky shots through an alleyway while the traffic is going to hit me shots than the bigger film cameras I have are more closer to the digital, but without like the cool stuff like image stabilization and being able to just crank up your ISO to however fast you want to go to get the picture without needing a tripod. So this is definitely an option, maybe I'll try this in the future for a video. Lift bridge 30 days because there's more film. I can spend less and get more pictures. How about that? 7 is the max. And also being square kind of changes the composition a little bit. It makes you think about how to approach each scene a little bit differently. Like, for example, let's say I took this picture with my digital camera and the equivalent lens on the Mamiya 6 would fill out like the same roughly side-by-side angle, but since it's a square, I get all this extra sky to work with. So I can make some big, deep sky lift bridge photos, or like this example right here, just put a big tree in there and still have it feel kind of balanced. But that's my thoughts on that. One of the first times I've probably ever been like, yep, digital was the winner here. So maybe I just need to go buy one of those big honking medium format digital cameras, get all the benefits of digital like stabilization and as much ISO as I want with the powerful resolution of medium format film. Who knows? Someday maybe I'll revisit this topic in a video, but until then, if you're on Instagram, get on there and follow Old Lifty. That's right. After I shot the video, I managed to track down whoever owned that handle, and they weren't using it, so they handed it over to me, and now it is the premier Instagram account for showing photos of the Duluth Aerial Lift Bridge, Old Lifty. You can follow my progress shooting it on Instagram, and yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to ramble about in this video. So if you made it through both of them, you're a hero.